Friends, have you ever seen those headlines? You know the ones. The ones that make you do a double take and wonder if you're living in some kind of financial fantasy world. The ones that scream Elon Musk gains $20 billion overnight. It's like he's got a magic wand that just conjures up money out of thin air. Or Jeff Bezos loses more money than the GDP of a small nation. One day he's on top of the world, and the next he's supposedly lost a fortune that could fund an entire country. It's enough to make your head spin, right? You start to question how real any of this is. Are these numbers just for show? Are we all just part of some elaborate financial theater? It makes you wonder if these billionaires have some secret vault where they swim in giant piles of cash like Scrooge McDuck. Do they really have access to all that money, or is it just a number on a screen? But here's the thing, those eye-popping net worth figures, they're mostly imaginary. They're based on stock prices, which can change in the blink of an eye. One tweet, one news story, and suddenly, billions are gained or lost. Or to be more accurate, they're based on things that are about as stable as a newborn giraffe on roller skates. The stock market is a wild ride, and these net worth figures are just along for the roller coaster. Tonight on Last Week Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of billionaires and their not-so-real fortunes. We'll explore how these numbers are calculated, why they fluctuate so wildly, and what it all means for the rest of us. We'll look at historical examples of market crashes and booms and how they've impacted the net worth of the world's richest individuals. From the dot-com bubble to the housing crisis, these events have shown just how volatile and unpredictable the market can be. We'll also hear from financial experts who will break down the complexities of the stock market and explain why these net worth figures should be taken with a grain of salt. They'll shed light on the difference between liquid assets and stock-based wealth and why the latter can be so misleading. And we'll discuss the broader implications of this imaginary wealth. How does it affect our perception of wealth inequality? What does it mean for the average person when the richest among us can gain or lose billions in a single day? We'll explore the social and economic impact of these fluctuating fortunes and how they contribute to the growing divide between the ultra-rich and everyone else. Is it fair that a billionaire's net worth can change so dramatically while so many struggle to make ends meet? So stay tuned as we unravel the mystery of the imaginary billions and uncover the truth behind those eye-catching headlines. It's a journey into the heart of the financial world that you won't want to miss. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is net worth? It's a simple equation really, assets minus liabilities. Assets are the things you own, your house, your car, your collection of commemorative spoons. No judgment here. Liabilities are what you owe. Your mortgage, your car loan, that loan you took from your friend Steve to buy those spoons. Sounds straightforward, right? But when we're talking about billionaires, things get a little more complicated. You see, the bulk of a billionaire's net worth isn't tied up in piles of cash or gold bars, it's in their company stock. Think about it. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, these guys made their fortunes by founding and growing companies. Their wealth is directly tied to how well those companies are doing on the stock market. So, when the stock market goes up, their net worth skyrockets. When it takes a nosedive, which, let's face it, happens more often than any of us would like, their net worth plummets. It's like watching a really expensive game of financial roulette, except you can't even bet on the outcome. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but if they need cash, they can just sell some of their stock, right? It seems like a simple solution. After all, stocks are just like any other asset, and if you need money, you sell your assets. But the reality for billionaires is far more complex and nuanced than that. Well, not exactly. First of all, selling a massive chunk of stock would likely send the stock price tumbling down faster than a toddler on a slip and slide. Imagine the chaos that would ensue if a billionaire decided to offload a significant portion of their holdings. The market would react almost instantaneously, and the value of the stock would plummet, causing a ripple effect that could destabilize the entire market. Not exactly a great look for a CEO who wants to inspire confidence in their company. The perception of stability and confidence is crucial for any business, especially those led by high-profile executives. If a CEO starts selling off large amounts of stock, it sends a signal to investors that something might be wrong, even if that's not the case. This could lead to a loss of investor trust and a decline in the company's overall market value. Plus, there are often restrictions on when and how much company stock executives can sell. These restrictions are put in place to prevent insider trading and to ensure that executives are acting in the best interest of the company and its shareholders. For example, there might be blackout periods during which executives are not allowed to sell stock, or they might be required to hold on to a certain percentage of their shares for a specified period. It's like trying to unload a garage full of Beanie Babies. Sure, they were worth a fortune once, but the market for them has changed. The same goes for stocks. The value of a stock can fluctuate based on a variety of factors, including market conditions, company performance, and investor sentiment. Just because a stock is worth a lot on paper doesn't mean it can be easily converted to cash without affecting its value. But try finding a buyer willing to take them all off your hands at once. It's not as simple as just finding someone with enough money to buy the stock. The buyer would need to be willing to take on the risk associated with such a large purchase, and they would likely want a discount to compensate for that risk. This further complicates the process and makes it difficult for billionaires to cash out without taking a significant hit to their net worth. Additionally, billionaires often have their wealth tied up in various investments and assets, not just stocks. This means that even if they wanted to liquidate their holdings, it would be a complex and time-consuming process. They would need to work with financial advisors, legal experts, and other professionals to ensure that they are making the best decisions for their financial future. And let's not forget about the other assets that billionaires typically own, such as real estate, private jets, yachts, and art collections. These assets are not easily liquidated, and selling them can take months or even years. Plus, the market for these high-end items is much smaller, and finding a buyer willing to pay top dollar can be challenging. There's also the issue of taxes. When billionaires sell their stock or other assets, they are subject to capital gains taxes, which can be substantial. This means that even if they are able to sell their assets, they will need to pay a significant portion of the proceeds to the government. This further reduces the amount of cash they can actually pocket from the sale. Many billionaires also engage in philanthropic activities and have their wealth tied up in charitable foundations and trusts. These entities are designed to support various causes and projects, and the funds are not easily accessible for personal use. This means that even though a billionaire might have a high net worth, a significant portion of their wealth is dedicated to philanthropy and cannot be easily converted to cash. In conclusion, while it might seem like billionaires have an endless supply of cash at their disposal, the reality is much more complicated. Their wealth is often tied up in various assets and investments, and liquidating these holdings can be a complex, time-consuming, and costly process. So the next time you hear about a billionaire's net worth, remember that it's not as simple as just cashing out. Section 5. The Bezos Yacht Conundrum. Let's play a little game, shall we? Imagine you're Jeff Bezos, you're worth billions on paper at least. You decide to treat yourself to a shiny new mega yacht. But here's the thing. You can't exactly pay for that yacht with Amazon stock. You need cold, hard cash. And suddenly that billion-dollar net worth doesn't seem quite so impressive, does it? Section 6. Beyond the headlines, income versus illiquid assets. Here's the truth. Focusing on net worth is like judging a book by its cover. Net worth can be a misleading figure because it often includes assets that are not easily converted into cash. These illiquid assets, such as real estate, collectibles, or stock options, can inflate your net worth on paper, but don't necessarily provide you with the financial flexibility you need in everyday life. It doesn't tell you the whole story. What really matters is income, the actual cash flow coming in. Income is the lifeblood of your financial health. It's what allows you to pay your bills, invest in opportunities, and enjoy life. Without a steady stream of income, even a high net worth can feel like a mirage in the desert. You might have a lot of assets, but if they aren't generating cash flow, they aren't helping you in the here and now. And even more important is the freedom and flexibility that comes from having liquid assets, not just a bunch of stock options that may or may not be worth anything in the future. Liquid assets are those that can be quickly and easily converted into cash without losing value. This includes things like savings accounts, money market funds, and certain types of investments. Having liquid assets means you can respond to financial emergencies, take advantage of investment opportunities, and generally have more control over your financial situation. Think of it this way. Would you rather have $1 million in cash or $1 billion worth of Beanie Babies? While the latter might sound impressive, it's not practical. Beanie Babies, like many collectibles, are only worth what someone else is willing to pay for them. And in a financial pinch, finding a buyer willing to pay top dollar can be challenging. Cash, on the other hand, is universally accepted and can be used immediately to meet your needs. One you can actually spend, the other, well, you might be able to build a fort out of. This analogy highlights the importance of liquidity in your financial planning. While it's great to have valuable assets, they should not come at the expense of your financial flexibility. Balancing your portfolio with both income-generating and liquid assets ensures that you are not only wealthy on paper but also financially secure in reality. So, next time you evaluate your financial health, look beyond the headlines and focus on what truly matters, your income and the liquidity of your assets. Section 7. The media's obsession with imaginary money. And who's responsible for perpetuating this obsession with net worth? Oh, just our old friends, the media. They love a good sensational headline, and nothing screams clickbait louder than a billionaire gaining or losing a fortune overnight. It's the financial equivalent of reality TV entertaining maybe, but not exactly a reflection of reality. Section 8, true wealth, freedom, flexibility, and a good night's sleep. So, what's the takeaway here? Simple true wealth isn't about how much money you have on paper. It's about having the financial freedom to live the life you want, without constantly worrying about the stock market or whether your Beanie Baby empire will collapse. It's about having the flexibility to pursue your passions, take care of your loved ones, and maybe even buy a yacht, a reasonably sized one, of course. Section 9. Forget the Forbes list, focus on your own financial freedom. So, the next time you see a headline about a billionaire's net worth making a dramatic leap, remember this: it's all just a bunch of numbers on a screen. Focus on building your own financial freedom, that's the real prize. And if you happen to amass a $1 billion Beanie Baby collection along the way, well, more power to you.